All right, all right. Peace to the family out there in the chat. And we are here. So we about to do our thing, about to introduce my guests. As usual, family, I want all of y'all to hit the like button. That's very important. Hit the like button. Tell your friends and family we are now live. We're about to get into some heavy, deep spiritual information. Very important if you're on the path to enlightenment, because you'll hear certain terms that may throw you off, definitions, just certain things that could be a bit confusing. So Brother Yosef is here to clear it up. But before I officially introduce you, brother, let's get to a quick commercial, family. Get comfortable. We'll be right back in 1 minute, family.
Started out with nothing. Now I got a whole lot of something. Breaking through the roof. Willie Walker when he pressed the button. When I do a money ritual, all of a sudden money started coming. Then I cut the Holy Ghost. I still be rhyming even when I'm mumbling. You repeat my name 3 times. While you staring in the mirror, bottle will appear like poof. I came from out of thin air. To me the gun is like a magic wand. I make a problem disappear. I would knock a nigga teeth out his mouth. Just to turn him to veneer. I can do magic, I can do magic. 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 When I open up my mouth, I can move masses. Black magic on the beat, turn it to a classic. I'ma take the money out the bank, then I'ma put it in a mattress. So many niggas got.
All right, family. And speaking of, I could do magic. Look who we have here. We got the our chief magician. Everybody, welcome, brother Yosef, man. Welcome back,
peace.
my brother. Welcome,
gratitude,
back,
peace,
brother.
family.
Hey, good to have you back on here, my brother. As usual, how's everything been for you?
Everything's been good, brother. Everything's been good, man.
It's good to
Everything's
hear.
been well.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I like that medallion you got on.
Thank you,
what
sir.
I'm saying?
Thank you,
I told
sir.
before the show.
A lot of y'all out there know about this. This is my Divine Radiance medallion. And, I've been selling these for the past, I think, 2 months now, 3 months. And I only release 120 every month, family. So, y'all know what it is. They sold out, so they'll be released again in November. And we'll just keep it going. So thank everybody who bought them. I'm getting a lot of good emails, a lot of good feedback. So thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Excellent. And I'm drinking this tea. I'm gonna show you while Brother Yosef is talking sometime during the show. I'm gonna show the people the sister that I buy it from. Her name is Nadra. I hope I'm saying her name right, but the tea is amazing tea. It's called I even forgot the name of it, but electric something tea. But I haven't gotten in a while since I've been in Atlanta, and I finally got a hold of it. So I just want to show y'all, put y'all up on game, some good stuff. So shout out to everybody with great product. Like I tell y'all before I start the show, it's very important. We're all geniuses in one way or another, and it's important for us. We've been consumers our whole life. Why not try to be a producer? You know what I'm saying? Even if you have a regular job, it could be something on the side or whatever, but we've been consuming our entire life. There's nothing wrong with producing a product or a service. That's why I said shout out to Brother Yosef and his medallion. That joint resonates with me. That's fire. Shout out to the folks who made this sweater, Nubia Apparel. That's the name. That's where I got online, Nubia Apparel. Yeah, shout out to everybody who has a product or a service out there, family. Moving into this next age, that's definitely what it's about. With that being said, Brother Yosef, man.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of magic, man, people get confused out here, man. There's this thing called left-hand path. There's this thing called right-hand path, and people be picking and choosing and criticizing and critiquing. Me, myself, brother, getting into this information, I never really got too deep into the intellectual part. That's why I call myself Black Magic. I'm Black Magic. But I never looked at it as negative because I don't even go that deep into the studies of how it is negative. And people are like, oh my God, you call yourself, yeah, I'm Black Magic, nigga. That's who I am. But so the left hand, right hand, I never got into that. Black magic, white magic. I just do my thing and it works for me. So to start out with, brother, since there's a lot of confusion about the right hand path and the left hand path, could you clarify exactly what that is for those who may not be aware or those who may be confused, my brother?
Yes, absolutely. And I want to start out saying I don't want anybody to think that while I'm talking, I'm trying to put both sides, the different sides against each other. Because like I've always said, family, both sides are a path to enlightenment. Both sides. The problem is some people deny their very nature. And by them denying their nature, their magic isn't proficient. So some people just straight demons. This is what you are. You're supposed to be on a certain path. Now we're going to clarify all that, right? Some people have more of a softer approach or a lighter approach. You're supposed to be on a certain path, but because of popularity or something like that, your magic just ain't efficient enough because you think you should be here and you're not following your nature. And that's what Brother Yosef had to do. So, to be clear, family, I don't believe in good and evil. I believe in the laws of the universe. Okay? Both systems follow the laws of the universe. The left-hand path is, and the right-hand path, we gotta be clear about this. So, this is a term, family, that really came out of India. Right? This left-hand, right-hand path term. It came out of India to measure different things when the religious aspect of the Vedic system really started getting pushed. Right? So when you look at it, the left-hand path, family, they're really talking about the god Shiva. Okay? The god Shiva. The god Shiva, when you're dealing with Shiva, who was the supreme Christ figure, because as we go deeper, family, let's look at it like this. All magic in the West is influenced by the East, right? We know that, So with that being said, this is why I'm saying this, right? We all influenced by them cultures, the Asian cultures, the Indian cultures, the African cultures, right? Which all they pretty much came out of, the African cultures, the European cultures. We're all influenced by those cultures that came to the West and we started doing stuff. So when it comes to the left-hand path, we'll get to that first. This left-hand path, right-hand path thing was something that was influenced by a certain system in India, right? Dealing with the tantric system. And then eventually that system kind of got played off in the Western society as a religious thing, like, oh, you're this and you're that. So to really be clear, right? There is no left hand, right hand path. But we live in the third dimension. There is duality. And the way that people work in the third dimension, it's male and female, it's left and right, it's negative and positive. This is how we work on things down here. This is why we still need earth elements to even make a lot of magic work until we ascend to the higher vibrations. Because we have to have duality. We have to, in the third dimension, it's good and evil, and left and right and wrong, and all this stuff. This is how it works down here. So to make your path more clear, people say left hand and right hand path. And yes, it's true, family. Some schools, spiritual schools, consider themselves to be a left hand path or a right hand path school. Now, what really is this left hand, right hand path? The right hand path and the left hand path, family, and I spoke about some of this in my lecture I did, the Mystic Mind lecture. The left hand and the right hand path is all about surrender. I want to be clear on that, right? It's not about how many spells you can do or how you can hex people on the left hand path. It's about surrender, because the left hand path is about self-deification. It's about selfishness. It's about becoming your own God of your own world and your own universe. Cool, nothing wrong with that, because you can really achieve and get to that level of enlightenment. But I promise you, that path is going to be, it's not an easy path to go, but some of y'all are built for it. Some of y'all supposed to be walking that path because you just ain't going, this other stuff don't make sense to y'all. So a lot of y'all nature is going to take y'all toward the left-hand path. All I'm going to say, right, because I studied the left-hand path greatly, if you're going to follow the left-hand path, family, do it all the way. Don't get stuck in Satanism and get stuck in a few little dark spells and you know how to hex somebody, and don't get stuck there. This thing is about evolution. Now, I did a video and I took it down, but it was called How to Evolve in a Left-Hand Path. I feel like so many left-hand pathers is hitting me up. I was like, hey, Brother Yosef, can you show me how to? I said, okay, let me put something out there. And I gave y'all a book called Kabbalah, Kalip-Off, and Goetic Magic. When I put that book out, the book shot up to thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Told people, boom, the book went up, right? And that book broke a lot of stuff. I tell y'all, it broke it down because that book is based on an actual school that I know somebody who a part of it. Somebody's actually part of a school over there, and they teach the left-hand path. The left-hand path is about that, family. Now, the deepest aspect of the left and the right hand path, family, is also about surrender. And it's more about merging yourself with creator, right? Creator. But both paths lead back to the source. I want to say this about the left-hand path, but this is the most popular path that people like to jump on because it's exciting, right? The left-hand path, on the left-hand path, family, you got something called the Agori system. You ain't all the way left-hand path if you ain't studying the Agori. They are the most extreme, supreme left-hand path you ever going to get. Those are real left-hand pathers. They eat dead bodies. And I'm not saying they left-hand pathers based on what they eat and what they do. I'm just saying like this is the energy they work with. They work with the dead. They eat the dead bodies. They're cannibals. They eat cow dung. Okay. They take burnt bodies and rub the ashes all over their skin. Matter of fact, if y'all don't know, Dasalam from Street Fighter is a Nagori. In case you didn't know that. They got different types of Dasalam. You know, he do the Yuga fire, right? But they got another version of Dasalam where he's more powerful and he actually looks like he's ashy. That's actually Dasalam as a Agori. He wear the skulls around his neck and all that. Even in the new Street Fighter, right? He got the big, skulls around. He's an Agori. The Agori are the top tier left-hand path. Guess what, family? And this is for people who study the left-hand path and think it's all about separating yourself from the gods. No. When you get to a certain level of magic, you become a mystic. Okay? In the mystic path of the left-hand path of the Agori, you're going to learn that they merge themselves with Shiva. Okay? They worship Kali and they worship Shiva. They worship, even though them dudes themselves are very most greatly feared, and they'll teach anybody. You just can't never lead a school because you're going to have the ability to teleport and do all kind of stuff, right? You can't lead a school. So those beings in their enlightened self, they still surrender themselves to a greater power. So I want everybody to understand who follows the left-hand path. Don't think it's all about, I'm not a sucker. I'm not a person that's going to bow down. Oh, you're going to bow down. I promise you that. It's a being on the left-hand path that's greater than you. And if you want to really learn, you're going to become a mystic. You're going to have to surrender. And that's what being a mystic is all about. And you learn, that's easy to learn and understand on the right-hand path, because that's what we hear about the term mystic. But the left-hand path, family, what I'm trying to get you to understand, it's also about the highest aspect of it. Is not about magic. It's about mysticism, right? You could be a magician all your life and evolve to a certain extent. But trust me, family, you evolve way more greater when you become a mystic. And you start dealing with the internals, and you don't need medallions. You don't need, I'm just giving it to y'all real, right? You don't need medallions. You don't need jewelry. You don't need nothing no more. All you need is your inner energy. So on the left-hand path, them boys over there and girls, they submit to Shiva and to Kali as destructive forces to destroy themselves and build themselves back up. That's what the true left-hand path is about. I hear so many people coming to me left-hand path and they ain't built for it. They come to me to get demons off of them on consultations. I'm just gonna keep it real.
Yeah, I seen a video you did with the brother from Beyond 5D, and you basically was saying, I hope I'm summarizing it right, that a lot of people that take the left-hand path end up getting washed up.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that to put nobody down. I'm just saying that if you're gonna be left-hand path, make sure you get you some good teachers that's gonna guide you and help you and not just leave you stranded. Because and I think there are some good teachers out there, right? But get a teacher that's going to not leave you stranded and leave you stuck when you start dealing with issues on a path. I follow right-hand path, right? And I know, like I just told you, I ain't no side, but my nature leans to more towards that. I want to help people. I want to do things, and I want to be clear. The right-hand path is not about saving the world. It's not about saving trees. It's about getting rid of ignorance and merging yourself with the divine. That's what it's about. Because the only thing that's really evil is ignorance. So the right-hand path is all about that. Let's get knowledge, let's get rid of ignorance, and let's merge ourselves with the divine force. The left-hand path is also merging itself with the divine force. They just doing it in a different way. And some of y'all are built for it. I talk to people that's built for it, and I hear some amazing stories, right? And I talk to people that ain't built for it. What should I do, Brother Yosef? You need to leave that alone for a while and get your energy balanced. Right? And that's what that is. To help people understand.
Great introduction, my brother. You are alluding to the concept of there being no good or bad. many brothers and sisters within the occult realm and the esoteric, metaphysical, spiritual studies, they say that like once you get beyond religion, you find that there's no good or bad. What I want to ask you is that when a person studies this information, like let's say, like I told people before, I've done interviewed everybody. I came down here in this round and I sat in front of all the great minds in this world, melanated minds in this world, and I questioned them and I studied them and I looked at and I just interacted with them. One of the brightest minds I've ever interacted with, hands down, was a brother named Brother Polite. Now, Brother Polite got caught up in some shit, some crazy foul behavior where he I forget the exact charges. I think rape of a 14-year-old, something with a young girl. And the semen was on the scene, all types of, I don't want to say things that didn't happen, but people know the gist of the story. Now, this is a brother that's deep in the metaphysical information. Like I said, one of the sharpest brothers I ever interviewed. In terms of there's no right or wrong, does a brother like that get karma? Is there any karma if he did do that, which majority of us think he did do that? Is there karma for him doing that? Because you just said there's no right or wrong. So there must not be no karma for him committing the acts or even the allegations of him scamming. There must be no karma for that because there's no right or wrong. And I just want you to explain that.
Yes. So I believe in right and wrong. I don't believe in good and evil. Okay. I don't believe in good and evil. So good and evil is something I don't believe in. And as I grew, I don't believe. But if there's laws in the universe, that means that there's things that we have to follow. And to a degree, there is right and wrong, right? I do believe in right and wrong. I just don't believe that you can call something evil, no matter how horrendous it is. You have the right to call. People have the right to call something evil, right? But in order to call something to really paint it as evil outside of our own mind, everybody has to agree with it, right? Like prime example, if there was a situation where it was a planet next to us, and we heard that somebody blew up the whole planet, then everybody on the planet will probably look at it like, man, that was some evil stuff, right? And that will be probably put in the history books as something that was labeled as evil, right? Mm-hmm. The masses agree with that, right? Mm-hmm. But if somebody did something like shoot your brother, right? Another person may agree with that person who shot, and the other person, and you may say, no, that person killed my brother. It's over with. That was some evil stuff. So evil is, and good and evil is perspective. It's all based on perspective. But there's laws in the universe that exist, and you break those laws, it's wrong. Mm-hmm. There's right and wrong that exist in this world. So we all know how it goes. You do certain things, there's karma, right? And that's based on right and wrong, not good and evil. Right? Mm-hmm. So right and wrong, yes. And I know some people don't really believe in karma like that, but karma is very real. It's very real. And for people who don't, always say, well, how do you explain a baby who got killed in a car accident? Somebody ran in the house and killed the little baby, 1-year-old baby. Like how you explain a father who slams his 1-year-old baby on the ground and kills his own child? How do you explain that? You know what I'm saying? And that's only because that's karma that's recycled. Mm-hmm. That person who slams the child on the ground and kills his own child, you think something that's gonna happen to him when he come back? No, you got to pay that back. You got to pay that back. So that's what I believe in. I do believe in right and wrong. I don't look at things as they're just evil. I think the greatest evil is you hiding information from people who can't better themselves, or you taking away their resources, and they can't better themselves because you're hiding the true information from them. That's what I look at as evil, ignorance.
Indeed. Would one side be right hand path, left hand side? Are they associated with the right hemisphere, left hemisphere of the brain?
They can be. They can be associated with magnetic and electric energy. You know what I'm saying? The left-hand path is definitely more magnetic. And for you left-hand pathers, you need to understand that, right? I did a video where I showed my pentagrams, and I explained when I was on the left-hand path, the type of pentagram I had. And I had that pentagram for a certain reason. So on the left-hand path, you're dealing with chaos. I want to be clear with that, right?
So that's a feminine. That's a feminine energy.
Right. That's a feminine, dark, magnetic energy, right?
Right.
That energy can be taken and it can be transformed and it can be transmuted, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if you don't do something with it, it's going to be chaotic. And people may say, that's evil. That's bad, right? That's horrible. Yeah, because you let chaos linger, right? Mm-hmm. A left-hand path magician, a true left-hand path magician knows how to take destructive forces and they know how to transmute it into something that they can use, right? They work with that side, right? I don't understand it when I see Left hand path is working with angels and working with the fairies, and I don't understand it. They don't do that over there. What they do is they work with demons, right? And yes, demons will help you. They will help you, and there's a lot of demons that's neutral, but you're dealing with destructive forces, right? You're dealing with destructive forces, which is part of creation. You just got to understand as a magician on the left hand path what that is and what that's really all about. That's all that is. There's nothing bad about the left hand path. I don't follow it because on a deeper level, I think that in the long run, it benefits me to be over here. And I think I grow faster over here. But like I said, some people, their very nature, they better over there. It's just they rebellious. This is what they do, right? So that's what that is. So the left hand path family is you have to learn how to control the chaos. And if you don't, that's what makes it dark. That's what makes the left hand path dark. Now there are some dark magicians that literally let chaos linger because we got to keep it real. The people who run this world are dark magicians. They're on the left hand path. It's just true. It is that they're not human. So their idea of what goes is different from what a human left hand path magician may say goes. They have no problem with controlling humans and treating us like ants on a farm. Right. A left hand path magician may have a different idea about that unless he has evolved himself into a god. There's some left hand path magicians that have already evolved themselves and already became enlightened, right? And they work on that side of the force. You know what I mean?
Reminds you a bit of Star Wars, huh?
Exactly. Well, yeah, I love Star Wars. That's exactly what it is. You can't get rid of that. You can't get rid of that side. It's going to be here. Yeah. So the whole thing is like we all got darkness inside of us. We all got evil thoughts. We all fight that. You know, and that's why I tell people in some instances, so-called walking a so-called right-hand path is a lot harder because you literally have to fight and go against everything you were designed to do. Some of us grew up, our daddy was gangsters, and we seen activity in the house, and we lived on a street where our friends sold drugs, and we might have known a friend that shot somebody. You can't say nothing about it, and we have all this stuff we've been exposed to, especially so-called Black people, and we have trauma behind that, right? So that some people, and let me say this too. One thing I noticed too is a lot of people who go towards the left-hand path is people who don't really know how to communicate socially with people in the public, and they tend to get in a lot of arguments and debates and fights with people. Right. So being that that's part of their nature, people always fighting and arguing with you. Y'all know what I'm talking about now. There's people out there in the world that just would like to debate. They always in an argument with somebody. It's always the other person's fault. Those people go to the left-hand path all the time, and they create a lot of karma for themselves because their magic is only based on hexing somebody and getting somebody back. And if they do find something good, they usually do a love spell or a spell to keep what they got because they know they not no good in their heart. Right. I run into people like that all the time. Oh, what? And I read their energy. I say, you know what? You're actually not a good person. And I see why people over here doing that. You know what I'm saying? That happens all the time, man. So now I've met some really good, solid people as well. I got friends that walk the left-hand path. That's really in left-hand path schools and stuff, right? And they good, solid people. It's just that this is what they want to do, and they go through the trials and tribulations of that. But a lot of people I find out they start out with hexing people. Oh, I know a candle spell. I know a hex spell, and I'm a hex this person, and they think that's what magic is all about. Right? No, a lot people of people 40, 50 years old hexing people.
Yeah. I say all the time, brother Yosef, if we was given obvious magical powers right now and everybody knew how to utilize them, 85% of the people that probably watching this video will probably use it to hex somebody. And I don't want to say 85, let me say about 65% of y'all, because that's the first thing. If you notice, if you ever argue with somebody and you're in a position, a high position or important position, the first thing they'll wish on you is that you fall or is that something bad happened to you. You know, the first thing, if somebody doesn't get their way with me, like if they don't get on the show, or if they don't get what they want from me, if they get a no from me, the first thing they wish is that, yo, that shit ain't gonna last forever, or yo, this, or it's always some bad shit. I'm like, God damn, yo, niggas always wishing some bad shit when they don't get their way.
It's crazy, man. Instead of just letting, and it's true, the universe will take care of things. If a person really wrong, they gonna get back what they put out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I feel like as long as a person ain't trying to hurt you or take your life, you ain't gotta pull out no heavy duty magic to try to defend yourself or even do something to a person. I leave it alone. And a lot of times, because I know I can touch somebody if I wanted to. So why even go back and forth with this person? I'm leaving it alone. You know what I'm saying? As long as they don't put me in a position where I got to defend myself. So at the end of the day, that's kind of, you got to be careful. Everybody out there, be careful about negative people. And y'all know who I'm talking about. It's a lot of, I hate to say it, but there's a lot of times it's women. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of sisters, you know what I'm saying? I don't talk to them and they just, I'm going to get this person back. And this is earlier in my consultations because I used to just talk to anybody about anything back then. Now it's like I kind of hold out on stuff that people tell me. So it's like, you know, I got to get him. You know, she stole my man and the supervisor at the job. And that's because women are more emotional. So they tend to take things a little bit harder. But even some brothers, right? People as a whole, hexing people. Stop that. Y'all don't know what y'all doing half the time. I know people personally who have tried to tell me that came to me to get a hex that they put on themselves. You know what I'm saying? They don't try to hex somebody else, end up hexing themselves in the middle of it. It's like, what are y'all doing out here? It ain't necessary. It ain't worth it. Learn magic for the sake of evolution and growth, and stop trying to learn it to get somebody back or to take money or to take love or take something. Get it, do it the right way. But like I said, some people are just negative people, and y'all know what I mean. They always gotta. They never, you know, they be mad about something for 3 months and it's over with. You know what I'm saying? That's a negative person. They got to get that out of their head. You know what I mean?
Indeed. No, definitely. Somebody said something in the chat and shout out to everybody who sent super chat. You're showing some super chat love. Okay, somebody, is there any connection, Yosef, with the left-hand path and the rings of Saturn, or Saturn? Anything associated with Saturn?
Saturn is always associated with the left-hand path. Saturn is always associated with the left-hand path. I wouldn't say the rings of Saturn, but you can look at it like that, because when we get married on the finger of Saturn, and we put Saturn's ring around our Saturn finger. You know what I'm saying? So we literally get married under the judge, Saturn, right? Yeah. And we put that golden ring around. So it's a lot of metaphysics behind that, but Saturn is always associated with the left-hand path. Yes.
Indeed. Wow. I didn't even think about the wedding ring being the ring of Saturn. I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah. That wedding ring, boy, that, you know, and you know, when you're young, like I was a Christian when I got married. So I honor that, you know what I'm saying? But me and my wife always talk about it. If we didn't know what we know now, we would have never went to that state. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's not, because it's deeper than that. It's way deeper than that.
Oh, it's okay. Well, let me ask you this. What about the people, I've seen some people in the chat earlier say that they're in the middle. What do you think about people who just say, listen, I'm in the middle, I do a little bit of both? What about the middle people?
That's cool too. The middle's cool, but you know, and I was there for a while because I didn't want to leave. I thought I was losing something by leaving the left-hand path alone. Because I'm addicted to knowledge and you know, trying to gain understanding on things, and there's a lot of knowledge in the left-hand path, but my heart slowly told me, hey, you got to submit yourself to something, right? And what are you here for? So how can I be on this side? I'm teaching people how to work with demons. It just don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? And I know some people think, well, what's wrong with demons, Brother Yosef? It's a lot wrong with that. It's a lot wrong with that. If you don't know what you're doing. So the middle path is cool. The middle path is the path of alchemy, right? You can be an alchemist to a certain extent on both sides, but this is why something like Obia, which all Caribbean people think Obia is voodoo. Obia is not voodoo. Obia is a power. To a degree, it's a system, but it's what you call a oral tradition. You can't really get it in books. It's an oral tradition, and it has to be passed down from master to teacher in Obia, right? So that's what that is. It's not voodoo. Voodoo is not left-hand path either. Voodoo is mostly right-hand path, but at the same time, it has aspects of it that can be looked at that. But it's so powerful that they want you to think it was evil, right? So left-hand path do get a bad name a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? Because everything becomes evil. You just got to understand what it is. If you really understand Satanism, you understand it's at the bottom of the power on the left-hand path.
Right.
Satanism is nothing. Like, that's not even evil, right? That's not, you know, they tell you don't kill kids in Satanism. You know what I'm saying? Don't kill children. So that's how you know the stuff they put in Hollywood is something else. And that's what you call chaotic. And I know some people believe in chaos magic. Cool. A chaos magician is somebody who uses whatever to get the job done. I understand that as well. But Sometimes if you can't control the chaos, it becomes destructive. And I promise y'all, the magicians who are at the top, they are destructive, and they're here to control and destroy. That's what they're here to do. The magicians at the top. So I just want people to understand that the left-hand path is the same thing they on. It is that they're already enlightened. That's the crazy part. They're already enlightened. They are, some of them are gods. They're deities, some of them. But at the same time, they're not a human. So they have a different ideology about what should and can't exist. And they got the right to do that because they're gods, right? But guess what? We're gods as well. And your job, their job is to stop you from obtaining information about who you truly are and going inside and becoming a mystic and worry more about what's happening in the world and what are they doing? How are they going to destroy you? No, go within, family. Everything you need is on the inside because we're all on the path to godhood. All of us, family. We're all on this path to divine energy. So I want to be clear on that. Obia is not left-hand path, y'all. Obia is a power that you receive from your master. And that Obia person is an alchemist, right? And that alchemist can control, they can actually merge stuff you ain't supposed to merge, like the Yoruba and voodoo. You know, they can merge that together because they're gods, right? Marie Laveau was an Obia person, an Obia woman. She did voodoo, but she was Obia. That's why she was so good at it. She's an Obia woman. So that's middle path. That's right. Alchemy, family. One of the highest sciences there is, pretty much the highest science there is, an alchemist. So the middle path, that's really what that's about. And that's when you can achieve that, what they call the rainbow body. So it's all about achieving a state of consciousness. The right-hand path, they call it the light body. The middle path, they call it the rainbow body. In the left-hand path, they call it the diamond body or the Damien body, you know, or, you know, the demon body, which is a demon is a divine being, right? So everybody gets to go. It's all about how hard are you going to go on it. If you're going to be left-hand path, stop playing with it and really go left-hand path. If you're going to be a right-hand pather, stop playing with the right-hand path and really be a right-hand pather. I'm not here to tell you something wrong. I'm here to tell you, know what you're doing.
you like, don't shadow the fence, huh?
Don't straddle the fence, because that's how I got to where I did spiritual. I'm saying I'm the best spiritual person there is, but I know the amazing results of submitting yourself, especially when I finally submitted myself. I went to a whole nother level, but staying on the course, it ain't supposed to be easy. You know, you're going to stumble. You're going to feel like giving up. You're going to say this stuff don't work. You may not dream for 3 months. You know what I'm saying? You may not do this. It don't matter. Keep going. If you keep pushing, one day something's going to happen. And when it happens, you're going to be so grateful that you never gave up. Right? I've been doing this for many years, family. I've seen things that I don't even know how to tell people. Like literally, like I was just telling somebody before I got on the phone about the one time when I was sleeping. Y'all know I do the lucid dreaming, and I woke up in my dreams, and I was actually in an angel school, and being in that school for what felt like 20 minutes, walking around, I learned more about angels from just walking around than reading any book.
Wow.
And for the first time, I realized, oh, there's angels that look like gray aliens. They got wings on their back. They look like aliens. They're angels. There's angels that look like trees. They look like trees. They look like that little thing from Guardians of the Galaxy with wings on their back. Some of them don't got wings. All angels don't got wings. There's angels that look like insects. Right? There's angels that look like humans. There's angels that look like robots. Where do y'all think they get this stuff from? The Transformers and stuff like they get it from somewhere that already exists. Right. This type of stuff already exists. These so-called Transformers are real beings. I'm not saying they're called Transformers, but they exist in the universe somewhere as divine sentient beings. So I want you guys to understand everything exists, right? And in that story, I go on to tell that I flew up this building and I saw a being that was so beautiful it terrified me. Like I was terrified from something that was so beautiful. It's like my eyes wasn't supposed to see it. And I can't even explain y'all what it was. I just saw an angel like scratch itself out into something. It was the most beautiful thing I ever saw. And I can't explain. Like, I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't know how to say what I saw. It's just the most craziest thing ever. But I'm grateful for that experience. And if I didn't push, I wouldn't have that experience. You know what I mean? So I want you guys to push. No matter what path you're on, push towards enlightenment.
Does one side or another use sun magic, moon magic more? Is moon associated with the dark side, or do we have it confused? How does that work?
The right hand path mostly works with the sun more, right? But they work with a lot of energies, but the sun seems to be the main thing. the left-hand path, they work with the moon, but they also work with dark matter itself. Dark matter and dark energy itself. They work with that energy. Because they transmute a lot in the left-hand path. They transmute, especially as a human, you have to, because that you're dealing with caliphatic forces and they can destroy you. It's just a fact. So I'm just gonna keep it real. A lot of left-hand path magicians, they get sick and they die early because they dealing with the demons and the chaotic forces, and they don't know how to really transmute that energy outside their body, and they end up they get hurt. You know what I'm saying? You can get hurt. So I'm not telling people to play it safe. I'm to not play it safe. I'm just saying, like, know what you're doing over there, because you're dealing with chaos. So they deal with the moon, but they also deal with other things.
Do you think something like that's what happened to the brother Bobby Hemmett?
Man, it could be. You know, it could have been.
I'm asking that out of love for my brother. I had a close relationship with Bobby Hemmett, and he taught me the most about magic. He was the best esoteric metaphysical teacher to me, in the last 3-4 decades, as far as going into the esoteric. And he was just like, he was exploring and he wasn't scared, and he went there before a lot of us could go there. And he, so we learned from him what to do and what not to do. So
I think to a degree it did happen. That is what happened. And I actually talked to Bobby Hemmett in my dreams a lot. I know some people think he's dead, but he's still alive.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, brother, is Bobby Hemmett? No, he didn't pass. He just don't teach no more. Yeah. But I've talked to Bobby Hemmett in the astral plane many a times. And I walked up on Bobby Hemmett and be asking him these questions. He just never give me the full answer of why he don't want to teach. He just said, I'm done with that. My time is done with that. I'm like, okay, sir, with all due respect, what I'm saying, it's all good. So I'll talk to him in the astral plane like 3 times, Right. And I love brother Bobby because he was one of the people that had the heart to really, he was trying to get black people out of their situation. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, look, man, I'm tired of this. We're going to just use this black magic and we're going to attack some stuff and get out of this.
Yeah. I
hear you. Right. And and I can only say this now as a more evolved magician, that grew up a lot, and Bobby Hemmett still is one of my top teachers. I love him forever for the fact that he put me on the path of not being afraid. Like I learned that from Bobby Hemmett. Like I learned how to not be afraid. Yeah. I give thanks to Bobby Hemmett for my first Baron Samedi experience. I learned about Baron Samedi from Bobby Hemmett, and he was saying, "Stop being scared of the voodoo and all this." Then I start
too. Yeah.
Baron Samedi came knocking on the wall one day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I was terrified, but I was grateful for the experience.
Right.
Always. But I think that brother Bobby did deal with some of those energies. You know what I'm saying? And I tell anybody, because I've worked with demons in the past, right? But I'm gonna tell you right now, you're dealing with destructive forces, and I'm not saying that they're not gonna help you. I'm saying that you're still dealing with a destructive force. You know what I'm saying? And they'll help you. But the thing is, over time, you're gonna build up some type of energy that you're gonna have to learn how to transmute, or in the long run, it's gonna get you because you're dealing with chaotic forces. Let me say this real quick. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by caliphatic forces or chaotic forces, you talking about the left-hand path of the tree. I mean the other side of the tree, which is divine energy as well. But those are the triple OG demons. Those are the real demons over there. Those are like demonic gods. The demons that a lot of people deal with today are not full-blooded demons. They're more of demons that get their power from the Qalipoth, right? And those demons could be aliens, they could be reptiles, they could be gray aliens, they could be human-looking people, and they're demons as well, but they're a different breed. So when you're dealing directly with the tree, you're dealing with some super powerful, super primordial force. That as a human, you better have been trained to learn how to transmute, or you're gonna hurt yourself. Mm-hmm. You ain't gotta believe me. I'm just here to tell you. I'm just here to tell you. Tell people, because look, y'all come to me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to stop people from coming to me because I'm here to help people. But I'm just saying, like, hey, choose a side while you're down here so you can follow a path. That's really what I'm saying. We're not talking about religious stuff. Get on the side of the Lord. We're not talking about that. We're talking about choose something, family, and surrender to it so you can evolve. Because some people pay the left-hand path, the right-hand path, then they back in the middle, and then they over here, and they start with Kabbalah, and they don't know where to go.
Right.
And I tell people, do altar work, start working with energy exercise, and start working with deities. That's what I tell people, to start you on your spiritual path. And to kind of, I promise you, your path will be led for you, right? Led for you, instead of just studying how to do spells all the time. Spell is a person who do spell. A spell is a hack. That's all it is, right? Just like I did a video on plant magic, and I was talking about how Mother Earth is nothing but a high-level artificial intelligence system. That's pretty much all she is. Or somebody who's so advanced they can build a system like that. I want you guys to know, when you do magic, you're hacking into Mother Nature. That's all you're doing. And you're getting something out of the matrix from her by hacking into, and you can do the same thing with prayers. Prayers is another way to hack. But hacking is not going to help you become a software developer. You know what I'm saying? You need to become a software developer and create your own energy and your own world and your own, your own thing, and merge with source. That's what you need to do, family.
Indeed. I got shout out to everybody in the chat. I got a lot of super chat questions, so I don't want to forget them. These folks. And thanks for everybody who sent the super chat. Oh, and by the way, before we continue, let me put your Cash App on the screen, brother Yosef.
Oh yeah, $ BRO, capital B, lowercase RO, capital Y, lowercase OSEF. $bro Yosef.
All right, just put brother Yosef Cash App in the chat. If he was able to gain something from this talk tonight and learn something, send the brother some love. Yeah, like I said, very interesting topic. Let me get to some of these. Damn, there's a lot. I'm probably not going to get to all these super chat questions, but
I know they got some questions. I know.
Yeah. All right. So somebody's saying, what's the fastest time someone can become an immortal, assuming they have the best teachers, resources, 1 month, 1 day?
It probably a young kid asking that question.
It's got to be a young kid, man.
Oh man, no, brother. It's
1 day.
Right, man. I mean, if you're lucky enough to meet a deity that could do that, I'm pretty sure they could turn you if you that blessed or lucky to run into that. But listen, it's gonna take some training. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take a sacrificing a certain lifestyle. Like it's a whole thing to that, right? Even people who have it's different types of immortals. You got some people that's born immortal, believe it or not. You got some people that's they gain immortality, and every human being has the ability to do that. And that's why human beings are hated so much, because we have the ability to do almost anything we can think of, And every human has an immortal gene inside of them. Some are just more activated, like the immortal genes of Henrietta Lacks, right? Some people are just activated, and they activate in different ways. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Some people be 70 years old. They look like they 40, 50 years old. They look really young. Some people just got really good genetics, right? Everything is, and then some people look young for a long time. That all has to do with the immortal gene. So it will take a long time, in my opinion, for you to learn how to, because it's a lifestyle, and that's the part people miss. It ain't about, I just get to learn to live forever. No, you have to eat a certain way. You have to do energy exercises, and you have to literally transform your body. Because when you become an immortal, that's a baby God. In so many words, you're becoming divine. And that's what an immortal is.
Okay. Next question. Somebody wants to know, how can we master both as a middle pather?
Well, I don't teach people how to master the left-hand path. I did a video on it. I hope if whoever caught it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But like I said, if you stay tried and true to who you are in your divine nature, you can achieve anything. And don't get it twisted, y'all. I still study left-hand path. I still read books and get an understanding. I just don't practice it. That's the difference. So in so many words, what I mean by practice, I don't work with demons. I don't work with the left-hand path deities like that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I don't work with chaos. You know what I'm saying? And I know some people say, well, brother, yours ain't chaos melanin. Yeah, absolutely. On one, that's what it can represent that on one level. It depends on what level you're talking about it on. So yes, at one level, certain words ain't bad. It ain't because what it represents to you. But on a higher level, it could be something else. Just like we talked about before with Lucifer, that could be something else, right? So the way you master both sides, family, is to be tried and true to what you do. Don't give up. Stay the course.
Okay. All right. All right. This sister wants to know, what about using metaphysics for protection of a group of people?
That's cool. I'm not sure what she mean by that question, but metaphysics and the occult is two different things. The occult is to hide. It means to hide. So you're researching hidden information. Metaphysics means to study things that are above the physical realm, right? So a lot of the information is not hidden. Some of that has to do with science as well. So a lot of metaphysicians are science. Like Dr. Blair was a scientist. You could tell by the way he talked, but he was also a metaphysician. Bobby Hemmett was more of an occultist, right? Because Bobby Hemmett studied the hidden path. He was exposing us to stuff that was, I mean, he was blowing my mind back then. I used to think he was crazy. I said, man, something wrong with this dude, man. He crazy. You know what I'm saying? Why would you call on a God of death? Like, why would you do that? And then I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, yeah, but metaphysics for protection, absolutely nothing wrong with that. You can do that for a group of people.
Indeed.
No problem, family.
All right. This sister also wants to know, she sends 2 super chats. What books are the people at the top using?
That's a very good question. I like that question because guess what, family? They ain't using no books.
Woo! Come on, what you
they
talking
don't
about?
Use books.
What are you talking about?
They don't use books.
You gotta explain. You gotta explain this one.
I'm explaining that. I'm gonna tell y'all, family. Books stop on a certain level. You just don't like. I don't read books like I used to, y'all. I get a lot of my information from the dream world. Waking up and people say, "Man, I'm having a hard time dreaming." You gotta stay the course, do the spiritual work. There's no possible way where you doing certain meditations and spiritual practices that your energy ain't gonna turn on one day. I don't care if it take you 25 years, keep pushing. Because one day something is gonna happen. And some people who say that, they smoke cigarettes, they drink a lot of alcohol. You can't do all that stuff. You can't be negative, right? Some stuff can block you. Negative energy can block you. So you have a negative mind and you trying to dream. That's probably why you ain't dreaming. Your mind too negative. You know what I'm saying? So the books that the people at the top are using, they don't use books. Them people literally meet in the spirit world. Have meetings like in the spirit world. They know how to astral travel. They know how to wake up in their dreams. They meet in the spirit world. They meet on different dimensions. And they learn oral traditions. So when you get to, if you ever had the opportunity to go to a high level spiritual school, you're learning oral traditions. On a basic level, when you enter into let's say you go to a school, you're going to learn books. That's a fact. Because you're going to need to know your history. You're going to need to know certain things. But it's going to be a level at the top where you ain't reading books no more. You are the book. And you give that tradition and that information to the student. So that's what they're doing on the higher levels, family.
Shout out to the brother Billy Carson and everybody who signed up for Blueprint for God Power 2. That's one of the things he's going to be dealing with, family. Guided dream meditation, lucid dreaming, multi-dimensional meditation he's going to engage in. It's going to be fire. So shout out to everybody who signed up for Blueprint for God Power 2. And if you have not, the link is in the description of this video. All right, let's keep it moving because like I said, we got a lot of super chats. People are very interested in this. When they start sending in money just to ask a question, you know they want their question answered. So
right.
I gotta stop my question and show some respect to the family who support it. All right, so Kansu Ru, man, do I know this brother? Wants to know, how might one go to find a true legit master from charlatans? I've been told through several readings I have a potential for this path and more, yet my studies have only been solo so far.
That's a good question. A good question. The way you're going to find a true legit teacher or master is, first of all, that person going to be able to give you something that's going to change your life. It's going to evolve you. Not a money spell, not a spell to hex somebody. They're going to give you something. Don't get it twisted. You can learn from people like that. But we're talking about if you really want to learn from a person that's on a higher level, that person is going to give you information, and when you apply it, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen, right? You're going to do some work. Judge a teacher by their fruits, the fruit that they bear. There's been some people in the spiritual community that make some incredible tools for spiritual growth. You know what I'm saying? And they got some incredible books and some incredible information. That's how you know who's legit. Right. I'm gonna be honest. We live in a world today where everybody's a spiritual teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've seen a dude with throwing up the Crip signs, and he a spiritual teacher. You know what I'm saying? I think he got like 12 subscribers on something. But I couldn't believe what I was watching. I ain't gonna say his name. I'm sitting here looking at it, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm really from the streets. I really do that." And he throwing up Crip signs and. This brother's talking about the chakra system and crystals. I'm confused. I'm like, man, I pray that I don't want to wish bad on nobody, but what if a guy like this get in the community? And people who don't want to grow They don't want to surrender, right? That's a big important part. They still want to be that type of person, and they don't want to stop being that type of person. Well, if he being spiritual doing it, then I'm going to follow him because I still get to be a gangster and I could be a girl that's loosey goosey and I could do whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Sexy
you can't
red.
do that, family. You gotta transform, and that's how you find a true legit teacher. That person gonna challenge you, and when they give you something, it's gonna change you, family.
Indeed. At this point in your where you at spiritually, brother Yosef, I'm just curious. Do you still sacrifice animals?
No.
No.
I've done it before in the past, but not these days. No. I learned quick. It's unnecessary.
Okay.
Some people, because of their tradition, they have to.
Mm-hmm.
Part of their tradition, spiritual tradition, and I respect that, right? Mm-hmm. But I learned quick as a magician that it's other ways to get. Like prime example, I'll give you a prime example. In some tradition, they may sacrifice a dog to pull down the energy of Ogun, right? But if you know how to create a powerful earth element, right? You can create multiple powerful earth elements. You can pull down the energy of Ogun, right? Mm-hmm. He just prefer a dog in that tradition because that's kind of the energy of the blood of a dog is the energy that's going to make him pay attention. Mm-hmm. But there's other earth elements, and we know earth elements are magnetic. You create an earth element, you can pull anything you want from the astral plane, mm-hmm. right? Anything you want. Mm-hmm. So that's why it's important for a person to live their life be balanced on earth. If your life is balanced on the earth, you can manifest whatever you want quicker, right? And by balance, I mean you live in your life with certain principles, right? I'm sorry, I'm just not one of them people who believe in you can say what you want, do what you want, and then when you get to the heavens, they're gonna respect that. Nah, not from what I've seen. Can't be them dudes are so moral up there. Like I've never seen an angel or a deity talking crazy, acting hood and ghetto. I never seen that. Never seen that, man. They just don't live that type. They're super moral. Super moral. They speak a certain way, even though they know you lower than them. They'll speak to you a certain way. So that's what that is. So yeah, family. I don't do blood sacrifices. These days I've evolved to the point where I literally could think about what I want and it manifests. And I ain't even lying. I know how to use my mind to a certain point where I can just think about what I want. I go into meditation and it comes to me.
Maybe the gods, you know how we get in these teachings and they be like, there's no right or wrong. We talked about that earlier. Or as people would say, morality was created by humans. Maybe that was told to us just to see what we would do, just as a test to see if we thought there was no such thing as karma, how would we react? Because a lot of times people don't do shit just out of fear of something bad things happening to them. They don't do it because they really want to do it, but they just scared that something bad might get returned and happen to them. So what would you do if karma didn't, if nothing bad could ever happen to you, regardless of what you do? People's true colors would come out, brother Yosef.
You know, I'm thinking about whether I should say this or not, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it, right?
Yeah, brother.
Man, when you get to a certain level of spiritual, you learn a lot of stuff, man. And I'm gonna tell y'all something, man.
Yes. And
I'm gonna say it like this, just to make sure people keep doing the right thing. Karma only exists for humans. So if you still on a lower level, human psychological level, you got karma. If you can evolve yourself to even the beginning stages of a deity, you don't got no more karma. Demons don't have karma. Angels don't have karma. Gods don't have karma. Karma is for humans to help us live a certain moral way. Some people don't like the fact that it exists, but it exists, y'all. I'm telling y'all, but it's for humans. If you're a human, you're going to have karma. Because a God knows better than to mess with an innocent person for no reason. God got better things to do. Some people are walking around the neighborhood talking about people, disrespecting people. They become trolls in the chats and stuff like that. They hate people for no reason. Don't want to see nobody prosper. Yeah, you need karma. You need karma because you need to learn how to be a better moral person. Right? Even a little child knows to treat another child nice, right? And share and do this stuff. You don't just do certain things. So yeah, family. Karma is something. If karma didn't exist, this world would be crazy, man. People be doing all kind of stuff.
Oh my God. Tell me about it. Jesus Christ. Let me ask you this, because I just asked you about do you still sacrifice animals at this point? on your spiritual level. What do you think about animals, the possibility of animals sacrificing themselves for you? Like you walk outside your door, there's a dead bird there, or there's a dead this, or there's a dead dad, and you're like, God damn, how did this motherfucker, he just died right here? Do you
Yeah,
think that animal sacrificed itself for you?
absolutely. It's a lot of animals that do that, especially with magicians that have familiars.
Right.
One of the reasons for your familiar or for your animal spirit, like some magicians literally have snakes that they work with. They have birds that they work with. Literally, that they feed them every day. They have a relationship and a love for this animal. A dog, sometimes a cat, and sometimes, and I've seen this in spiritual fights before. Somebody will kill your familiar because your familiar is there to block the hexes and the spells and a lot of things that hit you. Some people don't know that. You're supposed to build a relationship with your bird, your snake, what it's so deep until it's literally there's a protection force. Before something hits you, the dog jump in the way, the snake takes it. They do it on the astral plane level. They work for you up there. And a lot of times in witch fights and spiritual fights, that happens. The people's familiars get killed because they pretty much are taking the force for their servitor or their the person that created them or is working for them.
Indeed. Let's get to a few more of these super chat questions. Make sure you hit the like button, everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 2,300 people up here. Make sure y'all hit the this like button. Let me see. What about I read that one. Okay. This person, Thundercat, wants to know, Brother Yosef, can you do a video about the right hand path since you did a video about the left hand path just for the laughs?
Well, man, if you look at my videos, that's pretty much all I talk about is mostly right hand path stuff. You know what I'm saying? So to answer that question, a lot of my videos are like, matter of fact, everything I've taught has been right hand path to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? Everything, even information that some of you guys didn't know. Some of the stuff I put out for the first time in the spiritual community that people never heard of before was from me understanding and studying the left hand path. You know what I'm saying? Like when I talked about Harataki and put people on in the Harataki, and when I put people on a certain herbs and stuff like that, that's stuff that people on the right hand path take. You know what I'm saying? So I've been talking about right hand path a lot on my channel, family. So it's a whole that's what New Life Tools is pretty much about. Right hand path information.
Indeed, my brother. Let me ask this before I go to the next question. So back in the day, the teachers used to. I'm an '80s baby. This is probably before my time, but I know a lot of teachers in schools, they will force you to write with your right hand. So there's always something about the left side that the system tries to steer us away from. So is there any connection between using the left hand and the left hand path?
I wouldn't say that there's an actual thing with using the left hand path, but I think they call it that because the vast majority of humans on the planet are right hand path. They're right-handed. Excuse me. And like in Islam or certain traditions like that, they don't even believe you should do things with your left hand. You know what I'm saying? Because the left hand, they would say it belongs to Shaitan, or it's a religious thing, right? And that's why I tell you guys, if you really want to break it down all the way, there really is no left and right hand path, but people still won't get it if I say that, because people are going to lean towards something.
Right.
There's some people out here that just want to merge with the force. They want to merge with the creator, and they have to follow a certain path. So what I'm really telling you guys is find that path and stay on it. Don't be out here studying and you don't read 30, 75 books and you still don't know what path you on. Because one of the things I tell people to do is, once you start working with your ancestors, find a system of magic and stick with it. A lot of people hate on Wicca, but Wicca got Brother Yosef started. You understand? And I got to give shout outs to Bobby Hemmett for that. Because Bobby Hemmett was one of the first people to say to get into the Wicca. And that's exactly what I did. So that's why I said I'm going to have love for Brother Bobby Hemmett. Because he put me onto a lot of things and I just jumped on it. With all my heart, I jumped into it. Right. And I learned how to do spells from studying Wicca. I learned how to work with the moon. I learned how to work with the sun. I learned how to work with energy. I learned how to work with deities, because my first deities I worked with were Egyptian gods. And in Wicca, they said you got to get a lady in the Lord. So I had Isis and Osiris as my lady and my lord, and I would work with them and talk with them and have my first altar through Wicca. And then I said, okay, I'm gonna start going to something else. So everybody got to start with a system. Some of y'all ain't in no system. Y'all ain't studying systems. Y'all just doing spell books. You got to get into a system of magic so you can get a foundation and grow.
Indeed, indeed. It seems that through this whole conversation, it just keeps going back to know thyself, huh?
Absolutely.
Know thyself.
Absolutely. And the information is shattered. It's everywhere. That's why I want, especially Black people, please don't be sitting here. Don't sit here and think that just because somebody pulled out some European symbols or magic that it's weak or it's the white man's magic. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
There's no such thing. Every piece of magic in Europe was taught by the Moors. Mm-hmm. That's just historical fact. So I don't care if you talk about runes, right? Runes are nothing but Latin. If you trace runes back, they come from Latin. Who taught Latin in Europe? The Moors, right? It's a magical language. They don't want people speaking it no more, but it's a magical language. Mm-hmm. That's all runes are. Runes go, but no, that's a Norse mythology. And people say that when I talk about the Helm of All. People don't know what they're talking about, though. Right? They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know the history of it. It all goes back to the Moors, all that stuff over there. Mm-hmm. So I just want people to understand, don't stop yourself from getting into no type of magic. Get into it all. Mm-hmm. You know, I shouldn't even have to say that. Oh, it's the Moors. No, people got to get out of that black and white thing. It's magic. Right. All of it come out of Africa if you trace it all the way back. So just get into it, family. And I love runes. I love the Helm of All. I get into all that stuff. You know what I mean?
You ever got into the Harry Potter series?
Oh, absolutely. I'm trying to show my daughter right now. I'm trying to get her to see all of them.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Shout out to I forgot the lady. Who's the lady that came up with Harry Potter, y'all? She was just she was on in the in the media lately because she said something about the trans and
I forget her name too. But I like her story because even with her books, right? Like I saw
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah. J.K. Rowling, right. I'll say this real quick too. Even with her books, a lot of people make fun of her because her first book got a lot of misspellings. Do you know I was watching what's this thing I like to watch? The pawnbrokers. The guys that be in Las Vegas and they be selling stuff in their pawn store. I love watching that show. Do you know the way that they found a real authentic book is that it must have misspellings? First, if you don't got the misprint or the misspellings, it ain't an authentic book. The first series, and I'm like, yo, that's kind of crazy. So as much as people made fun of her, now that book worth hundreds of thousands of dollars if you got an original copy. Yeah. So I said that to encourage people, don't be scared to write no book. Even my first book had a misspelling or two here and there. You know what I'm saying? But when it's worth $100,000, Brother Yosef ain't gonna be worried about it. You know what I mean?
No facts. No facts. Yeah, I can't wait till my son. My girl, she big on Harry Potter, so I got put on it from her. But I would love for my son to see it because his name is Sirius, and they got Sirius Black and Harry. Yes. That's Harry Potter. So I would love for him to. It's funny, it's funny when my son is outside and black people hear his name, they're like, "Your name is Sirius." All of them say your name is Sirius, but then white people hear it, they be like, "Oh, Sirius Black, Harry Potter."
Yes.
What a beautiful name. So he gets like different reactions from white and black people. It's quite interesting. Very interested. Mm-hmm. Let's get to the next super chat here. Let me see what this Ifa Tomi Faima. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Is the purpose of receiving implements to harmonize with the energy so we can manifest by tuning your energy vibration to the implement.
I don't really understand that question.
I don't understand either, brother. If you what do you mean by implements? We lost a little bit, but All right, let's get to the next question. This brother here. What are some other deities related to the Thoth, Mercury, Lord Ganesha, Hermes, thrice great, quasi-quotal energy, gratitude?
Papa Legba. Ilegwa, Anansi. Those are all, because that energy is the wisdom. Because Anansi, who a lot of Caribbean people grew up learning about Nancy and the spider, and he was also in that TV show, The American Gods. Anansi is actually a god of wisdom because Anansi he gave his wisdom through stories. And so those are all messenger gods, but also gods of wisdom. So yeah, Anansi, Papa Legba, Elegwa, some other deities as well.
Okay. Let's get to the next one. How important is Earth's transition for the universe multiverse? Transition as in how the light versus dark war turns out on Earth.
Okay, that's a good question. So
I like
and
that.
I've been saying this on my YouTube channel for a long time. The war is already over. Like we already won. It's just that the people who live here don't really want. They don't want us to succeed. They don't want what's left over to be here. So, Earth going into the Galactic Federation of Planets or worlds is extremely important. Like I said in my video, because that shows that a race who has potential like crazy, but was deemed to be too destructive or too they have no morals and value. They just trying to blow each other up to evolve to another level by getting these people off the planet. That is incredible because our timeline was a timeline that wasn't even supposed to exist. So we are slowly but surely, fam, just like Dr. Blair knew a long time ago, we're going to the fifth dimension, y'all. It's just that's where we're going. It ain't nothing gonna stop you. It doesn't mean though that these people won't try to do something to you. So I still tell people. I did a video on my Patreon about preparation, right? Preparing yourself, getting your herbs, getting your weapons. I showed the blicky on there. I showed the knives, and I showed it all on there. I even showed this thing on there that I want people to get called a satellite communicator. And what it is it allows you to send text messages and emails through the satellite. So in case the towers go down, the cell phone towers go down, you can still communicate with family around the country. If something really bad happened in your city, and you can still communicate with people. It's called a satellite communicator. You can get them on Amazon. They ain't cheap now. A couple $100, but it's worth it, family. So I want people to still prepare because they still gonna hit us with another thing. And I've been saying that for like a year now. Hey, the darkness ain't over. There's something else that's coming. I can feel it. Everybody need to prepare. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually in the end, we gonna win.
I want to get to this question here. Are libations important? I poured on George Floyd's site here in Minnesota.
Yes, the libations are important because that's energy towards that person. So when you call that person's name out, they do receive that portion of energy that you pour out. The water becomes that energy for them or whatever you're pouring out for them. So yes, that's very powerful and it does work, family.
It's
very important.
Is liquor more powerful to pour out for your ancestors than
water? It is because they don't really drink water like that, but water can become anything, like Bruce Lee says. So water becomes the energy, but liquor is literally the ether, the spirit energy itself. It has the energy inside of it. So when you pour that out, they get a whole nother level of portion from that. And especially when you pour out something they like. So I remember my grandfather liked buttermilk. I don't know why. I remember being a kid and he used to love buttermilk. Yeah, and I used to put that on the altar, man. And it's like that thing stayed fresh forever, man. I don't know how that buttermilk lasted so long, but he loved buttermilk, man. So whatever your ancestors like as well, coffee, they like to drink coffee, pour some libations with your coffee. They're going to love that stuff. It all gives them energy. But yes, liquor is very powerful for energy.
Yeah, that buttermilk, that's some thick ass milk there, man. God damn it.
I don't know how grandpa used to drink that, but he loved buttermilk, man. You know what I'm saying?
They used to drink all types of shit back in the day, brother Yosef.
Yeah, and eat stuff too.
Yeah. I mean, wow. They was it. Wow.
My grandfather used to eat squash like it was nothing. Like he loved squash.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not a big squash person. How could he eat squash? But he loved squash, man. And that my grandfather was like real half-blooded Cherokee. Like he had the long straight hair, wavy hair. Like he was a real Cherokee. So he came with a lot of things that so-called black people would think was weird, probably. But buttermilk and squash was definitely one of them. You know what I'm
saying? Somebody wants to know what is the best book for Wiccan magic, my brother.
I gotta go with what Brother Bobby Hemmett said a long time ago. Scott Cunningham. Scott Cunningham is definitely that guy for that information. I want to give Brother Panic some kudos on that too, because Brother Panic dropped a lot of information on that as well and gave out some Wicca stuff too. So but yeah, Brother Bobby Hemmett was the first one to put me on to it. So Scott Cunningham is the best person you probably gonna find on Wicca.
All right. Hold up. Brother Yosef, how many primordial states could there be? If it's just one, could we see sports and competition as symbolic of that state?
I'm trying to understand that.
Yeah, I don't
So
quite understand.
the sports part lost me, but I'll answer the first part. How many primordial states could there be? It could be infinity, family. And by primordial states, I'm pretty sure you mean states that are beyond our physical world and the so-called spirit world above, where the primordial beings come from. They call that place the aim, the nothingness, was for that reason. Nothing means there's still something there. You just don't perceive it. So there could be endless worlds, right? And when we all get back home to that place, I think it's going to blow our mind exactly what's up there. You know, and the crazy part is we're already there. We just have a small piece of ourselves here, and that piece is so small and fragmented until we think that this is what it is. And this is nothing but a video game. And that's why a lot of gods and so-called dark people, the forces that do stuff to certain planet stuff, because they really realize we doing stuff to people that's an illusion anyway. It's like going into somebody's video game and on their NBA Live and erasing their stuff. They're gonna be pissed off if you erase all their stuff on NBA Live. But at the end of the day, it's just a game. You know what I'm saying? But what if the people in NBA Live was real and they could become sentient and they thought they were alive? They're gonna think it's evil. But it's, at the end of the day, the creator, the higher people know, oh, it's just a game anyway. That's how people look at it.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Give me 1 second, y'all. What's your input on COINTELPRO, aka gang stalking? I'm going through this.
Yo, I get so many questions about this. This is so interesting. Gang stalking stuff.
I get so many emails. I don't know if the people that hit me up on email, if they crazy, if they just batshit crazy, or if they for real. But they be saying some wild shit about gang stalking. So I don't know how to take it, brother Yosef. So I'm looking forward to your answer.
Yeah, well, I will say gang stalking is very real. I go through it myself. It's not, but I used to be really afraid because I used to know people was following me. Like I said, my mother's my witness. I got letters in the mail in my early 20s that I was going to be exactly who I am today. My mother's my only witness to that to this day. I got a letter. I got a mail from spiritual schools that was telling me they wanted me to join when I was 21 years old.
Wow. Because
they knew who I was going to be, and everything them people said came true. And you know, man, yeah. So that was crazy. So and I noticed I was being followed, and these people told me they've been watching me since I was born. I'm like, man, but I'm 21. I'm not even spiritual. I'm like, I'm nobody. I didn't come spiritual until I was 26. So gang stalking is not just based on somebody want to torment you. It can become torment if you let it. Sometimes the people really know who you are, and you don't know who you are. And these people following you, they keep an eye on you. I told y'all I had a whole experience when I first woke up spiritually. I think my first connection with a deity was the god Ampu, Anubis. After I made that connection, I went outside and there was a black helicopter flying over my apartment building, and the guys in the car were looking at it. And to this day, the thing had no sound. I've never in my life seen a helicopter that had the propellers going and it wasn't making a sound. And I just stood there like, you got to be joking. Like, how is this thing not making a sound? So I still get gang stalked to this day. Now in Houston, it hasn't been so much for some reason. I don't know why, but the city I'm from, it was just happening all the time. People watching me, and after a while, he's like, "Man, I know I ain't crazy." So I want to encourage the people: if it's happening to you, and they haven't tried to kill you, what you worried about? These people just watching you, and you're so dangerous to them, they feel like they need to watch you, or you're so important to them, they feel like they need to watch you. Don't always think of it in realms of these people are trying to hurt me. No, sometimes people are trying to protect you. They're watching you. And I'm telling y'all that. So don't always think of the gang stalking. Gang stalking is real. The COINTELPRO is real. But don't think about it negative all the time, family.
Somebody wants to know, is there a promo code for Blueprint for GodPower 2? No, there is not. No, there is no promo code. Just use the link. There's one official price that everybody is paying. We had a few tickets that were donated. I think I got one more to give out as of right now, but other than that, the price is what the price is. All right. And that's happening on October 29th. Everybody, make sure you get your tickets before there are no more virtual seats. Let's keep it going. What time we okay? We got about we're gonna do about 10 more minutes and then we're gonna get out of here, family. This is such a great show, man. Brother Yosef, every time you're on here, man, it's
I'm
a hell of a
grateful.
show, man.
I'm grateful.
Hmm. Shit. Okay, brother Yosef, is it okay to wrap black tourmaline at the top? I think they're saying of your dreads, in your opinion.
Okay, so let me say this, family. There's some things that I've said in the past, and I've learned from research and development over time. And one of them is black tourmaline, right? So black tourmaline is a stone that is protective, but at the same time, it can turn on you, right? So if you don't clean your black tourmaline and absorb so much negative energy, it will literally turn on you.
Wow.
Well, I would say do not wrap it in your hair because it's a stone that you probably gonna need to clean every other day. If you don't clean it and keep absorbing this negative energy, it's gonna literally become a negative stone. So I will say, please don't put it in your hair, family. Please don't do that. Put something else in your hair, like a higher vibrational crystal. Put some moldavite in your hair, or some rose quartz or something like that.
Indeed. Will reading left-hand path books and teachings invite dark or demonic energies into your life?
That's a good question. It depends on your approach. I have tons of left-hand path books in my house right now. I don't practice them though. I read it for understanding. I've always had left-hand path books. It never stopped me from growing. I've definitely shown signs of growth and development and evolution. So if you think like that though, right? I would say this: if you're gonna get a left-hand path book, get it brand new and get it from a trusted source. Don't be getting used left-hand path. I would say don't get any used magical books, period. Because people can do stuff to magical books. Try to get them brand new. Get your own personal copy because you got to remember this person's energy already been in this book already. So I would say get a copy that's brand new, especially left-hand path books if possible. Get it because I do have one or two that's used, but I would say get them brand new if you can, family. But I wouldn't say it invites demonic forces into your house. If you start opening the books and start practicing the energies in there, it can invite that type of stuff in your house.
Where does the prime source live, and does the energy know we exist?
I can't tell you where the prime source lives. It's in a place that is unperceivable, but that source also lives inside of you, so it does know you exist. And the number one energy to let you know that the prime source exists and it knows you is that love exists. Love is the highest force in the universe for a reason, and that force comes directly from the prime universal prime source or universal prime creator. So that's how you know it exists. And and yes, the supreme being knows everybody by name. It knows exactly what is what. We are all part of its design. So yes, family, it knows.
All right. So what are Christian prophets? Everything they told me came true. And what are karmic soulmates?
Okay, that's a good question. So in Christianity, or even any religion, you have some people that have the gift of to be psychics, right? Yeah. Of course, in Christianity, they're going to call it a prophet or a prophetess. But really, some of these people are born with a gift, a psychic or a mediumship gift. They naturally have this gift. For those people that have that gift and they get into religion, they're going to be called prophets or prophetesses. And I've seen people like that in the church community growing up that have really could tell you the future. They could tell you what's going on. So that's what they are. They're really just psychics or mediums that was born with a gift and it's being projected in church at that moment. Just like some healers. Some healers are actually Christians and Muslims, and they know how to heal, and people think Jesus doing it. It's actually that person. They have a gift of healing, literally. So a karmic soulmate is a person that you can meet that can teach you lessons in life. So a karmic soulmate is a person who, boy, they look like they got it going on, and they have it going on. They everything you want when you look at them. When you really start dealing with that person, they literally are everything you don't want. And you don't know that until you start dealing with them, and they put you through trials and tribulations. They kind of become like a demon in your life. And that person is there to teach you lessons. Some people don't know how to let go though. So they live 10, 15 years with the same person, fighting back and forth, arguing, cheating going on, all kind of, and that is nothing but a karmic soulmate to teach you a lesson. You're supposed to leave that person, learn your lesson, leave, and go on to your true soulmate.
Indeed. Brother Yosef or Thoth, the internet's so fascinated with Thoth these days. I get so many Thoth and Tahuti questions and comments. Wow. Brother Yosef, are Thoth, Lord Ganesha, Isis, Hathor ruled by Satan and a part of the left-hand path?
No, they are not. No, they are not. They are not left-hand path deities at all. Hathor is a love goddess. Isis, everybody know who Isis is. She's probably one of the most powerful, most popular female goddesses there is. Lord Ganesha is the elephant deity. He's a very loving. I have a relationship with him personally. He's a very loving. I used to think he was my spiritual daddy. You know what I'm saying? He's a very loving, and he loves humans. All right. And then Toph is another god that loves humans, and he's probably, they call him the teacher of teachers, and he's a divine teacher. They say Toph created himself in the universe. That's how powerful of a god he was. Ra created the other gods, but Toph created himself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so they are all gods of the light. Satan is an extraterrestrial, so they can't never be ruled by Satan, because Satan is a title that an extraterrestrial receives. So that's what that is, family.
And what does the title mean for those who don't know?
Adversary. Adversary against humanity is Satan or Satanist.
All right. Let's see. We winding down here. Wow, what a show, family. We winding down right now. Let me see if I might get one or two more in. Do you know about the human design system, Brother Yosef? Somebody wants to know your thoughts on the human design system.
I'm not sure what they mean by that. It sounds familiar, but I'm not. Maybe it's spoken of in a different way. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, you know how they got like astrology, cardiology. Human design is another system that teaches you about yourself. I haven't looked too much into it yet, though.
Yes. Yeah, I've heard of it, but I don't really understand too much about what they're trying to say in there. Usually when I hear new things, or even something that's put out in a new way with a new title, it's usually something I heard before, but I never heard it in that way. I'm not sure about the human design, family.
Well, okay, this will be the last question. What advice do you have for someone raised on the left-hand path and the spirit is calling them to the left?
So a person who's raised on a right-hand path, and if the spirit is calling to the left,
the dark side.
Right. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do, family. I think you know what you need to do. I'm an advocate for the light. And don't get it twisted. The left-hand path is light too. It's just a different type of light. You know what I'm saying? The advice I would give you is to go with your heart, go with your nature. And that's what I be trying to tell people. Follow your very nature. You know who you are on the inside. You look at the practices over there. Some people vibe with that. Some people don't. Some people vibe with the right-hand path. Some people don't. Some people think it's weak for some reason. I don't know why. All the most powerful magicians I know are right-hand path. All of them. I know a few that's left-hand path, but it ain't a lot of real ones out there on YouTube like that, like left-hand path teachers like that. That's real solid, like, because a real high-level spiritual teacher, they ain't really on YouTube like that. The ones that's like at high up, they not really on YouTube like that. But there's a few, you know what I'm saying? But the ones I know, that they're mostly right-hand path. So I would tell you, family, to follow your intuition and go with your heart, and you know what it's telling you to do. I don't want to tell you to do, but you already know. You got to go with your heart, family. Just saying, you going through the same thing I felt when I left Christianity. I thought it was all, Satan and stuff, but at the same time, I'm being pulled towards it, and it's like for a certain reason, right? So as long as you go on the path to evolve yourself, I would say that's the number one thing to do, family. Make sure you evolve.
Indeed. Hey, with that being said, man, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Absolutely amazing show. I want to thank Brother Yosef for coming on and dropping this for us. Brother Yosef, leave your information, your medallion, how they could get your medallion, or any show workshops you got coming up, website, all that good stuff, my brother.
Yeah, so the medallion, family, is sold out right now. It will be back up the second week of November. And some people say, well, Brother Yosef, why do you just I said, because I want to make sure everybody get their products. So I don't want to have a boatload of products.
Right.
And I guess, and I'm busy myself. I do a lot of different things. So I want to make sure I can knock out 100, 120 product, send people their stuff for the month, and then do another one the following month. So the second week of every month, family, we're going to release the medallions, and whoever get them for that month. Also, I want to tell personally my Kioi to Solid G members to go to our Mighty Networks and sign up on our Mighty Networks so y'all can go on there and y'all can get in the community that we have there. Right, we getting ready to do some great things. So come on there and meet the family, and we can make things happen. If you guys want to email, if you guys want a consultation, I'm only doing consultations for my Patreon members. I'm Brother Yosef on Patreon. I'm not doing consultations out in the open right now. Only for Patreon members, family. So that's the only way you can get a consultation from me. But you can always ask me a question on newlifetools@gmail.com. And if I got free time, I'll answer it for you, family. Thank you guys for having me.
Hey, family, with that being said, this brother Rich, Brother Yosef, I'm signing out. See you next time, fam. Oh, by the way, family, Dr. B Serious will be on here tomorrow. We gearing up for the GodPower workshop. He'll be back tomorrow, family. So everybody make sure you tune in tomorrow. All right, family, see you tomorrow. Peace. All right,
Peace, family. Peace.
Peace, my brother.